Hello, everybody, and welcome to another airport update today of the Newark Liberty International Airport Terminal B. Today we are here for I want to say the eighth airport update of this terminal, specifically of Newark. We have a new model to get into today that basically we've been waiting to do this airport update until I got this model, and now we have it in. So you can await that coming up here later on the airport update, but we will begin in the first pier here, the 40s gates, as I like to call them, because they're all numbered in the 40s. Beginning with this Alaska Airlines 737-900 ER right here. This aircraft arrived in from Los Angeles LAX, and it's on the turnaround today. We'll be heading back out there. This Alaska 737 MAX 9 on the West Coast Wonders livery arrived in from Seattle Tacoma, and it will be heading back out there today on the turnaround as well. This Spirit Airlines Airbus A320neo arrived in from Fort Lauderdale, and today it'll be heading out to Orlando. So a pair of Florida routes right there. Nothing too much happening over in the 40s gates ever in these airport updates. It's really only for Alaska and Spirit, and that is all that we see today. So we will now move along to the 50s gates here, where the action of this being the international terminal at Newark starts to pick up a little bit. So this airport update is about to get a little bit more interesting. Alright, and here we see this United 737-MAX 8. This aircraft arrived in from San Jose, Costa Rica, and it will be heading out to Raleigh-Durham later today. This one will be pulling in to the B concourse here, just taxiing in right now. This one just arrived in, so yeah, came in from San Jose, will be heading out to Raleigh-Durham. Very nice. Alright, now we'll start with our wide bodies here, starting with this British Airways 777-200. Now, this is filling in for a 787-10. This is my only British Airways model. They do fly the 777s to Newark, but they have two flights to Newark, and their second one of the day is operated on the 787, which is what this one is, a 787-10. Those aircraft arrived in from London Heathrow, and will be heading back out there today. One of many London flights from Newark. I believe there's 9 London flights from Newark, which is insane. Most of them are United, and we will see one of those later on, spoiler alert, after I spoiled the fact. But yeah, a whole bunch of London flights from Newark. This is just a sampler. And here's one of the cooler services from Newark. This is the Ethiopian 787-9, filling in for 787-8, but close enough. This one arrived in from Addis Ababa via Lomé, and this one will be heading out to Addis Ababa directly. So basically a turnaround for this one. They have to make it a stop in Lomé on the way from Ethiopia, because it doesn't have enough fuel to make it with, of course, the wind blowing against the aircraft as it makes its way west across the Atlantic, and then it flies with the wind going east, which means that they can make it without having to stop to refuel. So that is why it goes directly to Addis Ababa afterwards. But a very interesting service. It's not the only airport that they do that for. Flights to Chicago, for example, they stop in Rome. So that's kind of interesting service there that Ethiopian does on these flights. So we're glad to have them here at Newark, and they're a really cool airline. A very nice livery, very nice model here as well by NG Models. They did a phenomenal job on this one. And so yeah, that is all we have for this aircraft. Now we'll move on to our last one here in the 50s pier. Alright, here we have the United Heathrow flight on the 767-300. This aircraft arrived in from London Heathrow. Of course, as I just mentioned, we're heading out to Naples, so very cool right there to see on the 767. Alright, and here we have the beautiful Icelander 737 MAX 8. This aircraft arrived in from Reykjavik, Keflavik, of course, and we'll be heading back out there today. Haven't really been able to feature Icelander too much in these airport updates of Newark Terminal B. So good to see them right here, getting the lavatory cleaned out there in the back, so you can see with the lavatory truck. But yeah, this one just sitting here waiting for it to turn flight back out to Reykjavik, looking very nice right here. Quick correction on the Icelander. I believe that was filling in for a MAX 9, as they fly the MAX 9s to Newark, not the MAX 8s, but I don't have a MAX 9 model for Icelander, so we had to substitute that one. Anyways, now getting into the star of the show, here we have the Lufthansa 747-8i. This one on a very weird service today. So this one, a long story with this one. So on the 11th, the day before this airport update, the flight from Frankfurt to Newark got diverted to Boston. and so the plane never showed up at Newark on the 11th. And so this is the flight from Boston to Newark after being diverted. And I'm not sure if this had passengers on it, if this was just a repo flight, so they could get their 787 to Newark. Because the return flight back to Frankfurt was, regularly scheduled flight. That had passengers on it and all that stuff. Because the flight, actually on this day, the flight from Frankfurt got canceled at Newark, which is very interesting. That all this kind of went down around this airport update. No, this isn't the retro livery, and all of this took place with regular livery aircraft, but it was a very nice model by NG Models. I'm getting sidetracked with what I was doing. Anyways, not sure if this aircraft came in with any passengers on it. I would imagine probably not, because I don't think that they would have kept it. If they would have kept all their passengers there overnight in Boston, probably would have just routed them on a United Airlines flight maybe. But yeah, a very confusing situation. Might have had passengers on it, just they got a day's delay on their trip, especially because it arrived kind of late into Newark. It arrived here at like 7 o'clock, so you'd expect that if they had like a mechanical issue or something and they were able to at least get a repair, that they would fly it out as soon as they could if they had people who were trying to get to Newark. But yeah, I'm not sure what happened with this flight. Very interesting scenario, but good to get the 747-8 in the airport update finally. This is the realistic Lufthansa aircraft here, because they had the 747-400, which they do not fly into Newark, at least except for that one time where they did. But yeah, it's currently on the 747-8, and there was even this retro livery came in a few days ago. I didn't get it in the airport update because this situation just seemed more funny. But yeah, great to get this model in here. It's a lovely model by NG Models, an awesome livery. I'm so grateful that they made it, and so happy to have it in the collection. And we still have one more Lufthansa aircraft to get to, which you can see right next to this one. All right, and right here we have the Lufthansa 747, the A340-200 here, filling in for a 340-600, which I unfortunately also do not have a model of, so you have to substitute it here with the A340-200 in the Star Alliance livery, as you can see right here, looking very nice still. This aircraft arrived in from Munich. It'll be heading back out there today on the turnaround. That is Lufthansa's other major German hub. They mainly use the A340s there, which is also what we see here. So very nice to get to both quad-engine Lufthansa aircraft in here, that they are still operating both the A340 and the 747, which is quite incredible. They also have the A380, I guess, which is another quad-engine. We don't have that one in the airport update. They also don't fly to Newark. I also don't have a model of a Lufthansa A380. But if they do ever bring those to Newark, I will definitely get the model. That would be really cool. Fortunately, no A380 serve Newark as of right now. It would be really cool if they did, but yeah, none serving Newark right now. Hopefully in the future at some point, that would be really cool to see, but the A380s are kind of dying out anyway, so probably not going to happen anytime soon, or ever if I had to imagine, but yeah, at least we can still get the 747 and the A340 in here, which is really cool to see from Lufthansa, so thank you to them. All right, and right here, taxiing by, actually the rest of the aircraft in this airport update are all United aircraft, so this is a United hub, but this is the international terminal. Still plenty of United action going on around here. So here's the United 737-900. This one arrived in from Punta Cana, currently taxiing in. He'll be parking over here in the 60s pier of the B terminal. This aircraft arrived in, as I said, from Punta Cana. We'll be heading out to Buffalo, New York later today. Right here we have the United 787-10 Dreamliner. This aircraft, we have another German route here. This one in from Frankfurt as well. We'll be heading back out there on the turnaround. So yeah, definitely the German routes today not ceasing to disappoint, with both Lufthansa and United both serving them here. Yeah, fortunately did not get the chance. Well, correct. I stand corrected on that one, because I did fly United to Germany back in 2016. That was on the 767. But yeah, flew on the Lufthansa 747-8 to Frankfurt this past summer. I would like to try out United's wide-body product again. Of course, in economy, I don't have the money to go up to business or first class or anything like that. But yeah, I'd like to try out United's economy. I'm pretty sure it's pretty similar to Lufthansa's anyways, and Air Canada's. I've tried both of those. Those are both their Star Alliance partners, and SAS for that matter, over the past 2 years. So I can't imagine it's too similar. Definitely would like to fly on Delta on their some of their international services out of MSP. We'll see what comes of that. I mean, international travels, it's quite the big deal. It takes quite the effort to make that happen, and having it happen 2 years in a row was quite a privilege. But I do have some trip announcements that I'm gonna be making at some point. Not too many concrete plans, but I have trips that are coming up. So stay tuned for trip announcements. Nothing like going to Riga, but that's beside the point. Anyways, we have to continue on with the rest of this airport update, where we have two 757s left. So stay tuned, 757 fans. I love them too. I think it's pretty apparent that I'm recording this update after 11 p.m. because of just the way this update has been going so far. But yeah, we love it. I wonder if you can like tell from watching past videos which ones I've recorded during peak daytime hours and which ones I've recorded like well into the night because of my speaking brain. Just it's really bad in the daytime. Once it gets to nighttime, it doesn't work anymore. Anyways, our next aircraft here is this United 77-200. This is in the Continental Globe livery. This aircraft arrived in from Brussels, Belgium, and will be heading out to Los Angeles, LAX later today. Gorgeous here on the Continental Globe livery on the 757. Very cool to see Brussels on the 757. That kind of surprised me when I saw that one, but looks like they've added a second daily Brussels service. United has. They have of course, their 787-10 service, but this is now, they have added a 77 service as well. So 2 daily Brussels flights. Pretty cool to see. Brussels is a very nice city. They have an incredible airport. Best airport that I've ever seen in person. Not that I've been to too many airports, but Brussels is definitely up there on the best airports in the world, in my opinion. But yeah, that'll do it for the terminal here. We have 2 more taxiing aircraft to get before we finish the airport update. Unfortunately, big backlit right here. We have this United 737-700. This one arrived in from Mexico City. It's currently being towed over to Terminal C, and it'll be heading out to Nashville, Tennessee later today. So yeah, this was a pretty typical occurrence here, where international flights arrive into Terminal B, and they have to get towed over to C because there aren't a whole lot of gates here at the B terminal, and those need to be filled in by other international flights. When there are only so many gates that are attached to customs. They have some in Terminal C, and then all of Terminal B, I believe, or at least the last 2 concourses or the last 2 piers in Terminal B. So there's only so much room that they have international flights to occupy. So that's why at least at this terminal, they pretty much cycle out the flights pretty quick here after they arrive, towing them over to other terminals. At least the United flights, they don't really do that with the other airlines, but with United they definitely do. So that's what we see here with this 737-700. All right, and our final aircraft in today's update is this United 757-200. This in the beautiful right here California livery. This aircraft arrived in from Los Angeles, LAX, and is currently taxiing to its gate in the C terminal. It will be heading out to Dublin later tonight. What an absolutely gorgeous machine right here. Love this livery on this aircraft. This was the actual flight that this aircraft did today, so that is really cool that it visited Newark. I suppose the wrong geography on the right here liveries this is of course the New Jersey livery territory, but still a gorgeous livery nonetheless. Honestly, I prefer it over the New York, New Jersey one, but they're both absolutely fantastic liveries, and it's super cool to see this one back here in these Newark airport updates. And so yeah, this one heading out to Dublin later today. Definitely not the most Californian destination as ever, I guess. It's not the warmest over there in Dublin, but I would love to head up to Ireland someday. It looks like a lovely place. Honestly, I'd rather go there than California, so I would definitely take this aircraft to Dublin over taking it to California. But that'll do it for today's airport update. Thank you all for checking this one out, and I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.